Yeah, now stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball podcast. Welcome back to this episode. This is the second part of a double header. If you haven't heard the first, go back and listen to it. If you can't be bothered, that's all right. Just keep listening to this one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And don't forget, like and subscribe. I hate it when people say that. Moving away from British basketball, Mark. We're going to go to the cross-Atlantic again, to the NBA. And I know this is one of your notes. You're going to be wanting to talking about this because you're going to be going on, oh, Seattle. That's what you're going to be saying. But there is lots of rumours, lots of talk at the moment about the NBA expanding from 30 to 32 teams.
This is my excited face.
Yeah. Wow. So, I think it was 2004, I want to say the Charlotte Bobcats joined the NBA. I was going to say NBL then. That would have been amazing, wouldn't it? Joined the NBA. Obviously, now they're called the Charlotte Hornets. And yeah, there's rumours circulating on the grapevine about two potential teams. Now, I know you'll be very keen on the Seattle gossip. I'm waiting for you to jump in because I know you're really keen on this, but you're not jumping in at all. So anyway, the point I was going to make here was the contrast. Silver was when he was talking back in 2022 when they were talking about expansion, and I'm quoting here, it's not true. At some point, the league may invariably expand. It's not at this moment. That is what his language was. All of a sudden, his language has shifted more recently. And again, I'm going to quote, money, 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 money. Adam Silver has said, we will look at Vegas. Money. He's gone from, we're not looking at it to, we will look at Vegas. He's also said, and this is where a smile will come to Mark's face, he said, there's no doubt there's enormous interest in Seattle. That's not a secret. There are other markets that have indicated interest. For the people who hear or read about this interview, we are not engaged in any process now. We're not taking meetings right now with any potential groups. What we're saying to everyone privately is that the same thing that they're saying publicly is that they're very open to the process at this time to consider expansion. But look, within a year, he's gone from no, we're not looking at it to we are talking to people about it. There's the smile. There's the smile.
As a Sonics fan, do you know one of the reasons why I went? And a few years ago, I had to choose a team to replace the Sonics because it was just not looking like. The two reasons why I chose Dallas Mavericks as my team. Actually, it was three.
You have told me, but I can't remember.
One was because I really, really, really liked like the colour schemes and stuff like that. Sounds really stupid. Two, they were formed and they entered the league the year I was born.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And I was like, that's really cool. And number three was because I really like Mark Cuban, who owns them. But the reason I like Cuban is one, because he's outspoken and I think he's funny. But two, he was one of only two members to vote against Seattle being sold and moving.
Oh wow!
He was one of there was two. I think the other one was Pelicans or Portland Blazers at the time. Those two were the only ones who said we don't want Seattle should not move, and they went against it. But because the majority voted, that's why Seattle went. And Schultz, who owned the company at the time, who owned Starbucks, who's a massive douche,
wow,
sold it.
Yeah, you don't like him, do you?
No, because they sold it, and there's a film called Sonic's Gate. Go watch it, make your own mind up. But basically, they said they sold Sonic's. No, it's not going to be moved. They sold it to people from Oklahoma, and they said we are never keeping the Sonics in Seattle. It's moving as soon as we can. They sold it that year. That year they got Kevin Durant on the draft. Boom, moved it the next year.
Yeah, he was 1 year as a Supersonic, wasn't he?
That's it. And that 1 year of the Sonic was all up and down because then no one knew what was going on. That was 2007, 2008. In 2008, they started playing at Oklahoma City.
I mean,
so you mentioned Charlotte. What was interesting was that Charlotte moved, and then they moved to become New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they were then the Pelicans. So that's where that franchise moved. And then the Hornets came back, as you say, as the Bobcats in 2004. But everyone remembers when the Hornets went in there because that was like 1988. That was around the time of the Magic as well. Hornets, Magic. They were the expansion team. I think Miami maybe at the same time. They're all expansion teams back in the 80s. So you had a round there of them going through. The Hornets, arguably the best colour scheme of the 90s.
Yeah, a lot of people. What was that guy? Who was it?
It was Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
Larry
That was
Johnson.
it. Everyone
And
had
you had
Larry Johnson tops.
Muggsy Bogues, Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah,
you're
great
great.
team.
They're a really, really good team. But obviously they moved, and then the Pelicans had their own thing in New Orleans because of Katrina and everything going on. So they had to move out and then move back in. And there's been lots of movement in the league.
Well, I've got a throw under the bus question for you, but it might not be a throw under the bus question. The main focus, I think, for Seattle was the Climate Pledge Arena. Now that is ready to roll, is it? Almost ready to roll?
They already have a WNBA team playing there.
Oh, there we go. So that,
and so did Las Vegas. That's the whole. The two reasons. So I have. Hold on to your seat. I have watched a WNBA game
in Seattle.
No, unfortunately not. I watched it in Minnesota. But I got to see Seattle play. So I'm taking that as I've seen a Seattle team, even though I didn't get to see Gary Payton.
What were your thoughts about the WNBL? NBA, WNBA.
I'll tell you what, they could shoot. It was frightening how they could shoot, but it's a different game, and I think when you go to an NBA, the men's NBA game, there's a different type of physicality. So it's a bit like when you go and look at an old 80s, 90s NBA game, and then you go and watch something more modern. It's a different type of spacing. It's a different type of shooting. People's movement, the principle of the game is there, but it's just a different type of game. So I think that's why people have always been like, but it's not the same. But it is. It's the same game. It's just played in a different way.
No, I agree. I know exactly what you're saying from a referee's perspective and reffing women's games and men's games. I know what you're saying.
Yep.
Even the way they move, or like I'm trying to think of a good example. A guy might drive up into the hole. He'll be getting ready for the contact. I notice other times, a woman will react with that differently.
Yeah,
like they might cut in and cut back out.
You see the WNBA just finalised their championships just recently. That was amazing games. They're really, really good to watch. But you mentioned those two teams, or those two places where they would have expansions potentially.
But they're saying there's others.
So, yeah, but here's the thing. So Las Vegas, here's two things with Vegas. One, they moved the Raiders from Oakland, the NFL team. They moved them to Vegas. So it's Las Vegas Raiders, I think they call them.
It's not a lack of people going there.
But now the team themselves, I will go on paper and say they suck a little bit on the field.
Wow.
They're not that great. They're just not getting their traction. But they are. It's really popular because it's Vegas. And you get to go to Vegas and watch an NFL game. So they are packing it. So on paper, they're doing quite well, even though the team is not maybe performing.
I guess it'll be similar to I want to say Orlando, or maybe like New York or something, or LA.
Because
maybe
they've got an inbuilt crowd who's always going to be there. So here's the other thing. The Vegas have the Las Vegas Aces. That's the WNBA team.
Yeah.
Part owned by Tom Brady.
Oh, he's just done it, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then Seattle have the Storm, and they play at the Climate Arena already. So you go, the Seattle
They're ready. They're all ready to run, aren't they?
Well,
I guess.
here's the thing. When Seattle men's team was moved, the Seattle WNBA team stayed. And part of the reason is because they're champions. And they have been a really successful WNBA team. So
Well, I looked at something.
that was back in Key Arena.
It will hit you to the core of your bones when I say this, Mark. Rumor has it that if the NBA expands,
Yep.
I know you're going to not like this. This is why it's funny. If the NBA expands and there's a Seattle team comes into it,
Mm-hmm.
even if they call themselves the Supersonics, which I hope they do,
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
they do not claim the history for the
No.
Seattle Supersonics that
No.
stays with the Thunder.
Do you know Russell Westbrook overtook Gary Payton? He overtook Gary Payton with the highest assists and stuff like that. You go, and the highest point scorer for, in brackets, the Seattle Sonics, because they bought that franchise. You go,
If you move, you should lose the history. If you can't say, we move, you lose the
really?
history.
You going
So
with
are
that?
you telling me
Well,
Seattle
the Lakers would be stuffed then, wouldn't they?
But
because
if
they were the
Seattle
Minneapolis Lakers.
has a Supersonics, they should turn around and say, Supersonics are back.
I like Russ Westbrook. I'm going on paper and saying that a lot of people hate him. I think he's a great player. He brings a lot of energy.
The glove.
No, that's Gary Payton.
Oh, who did you say?
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, Westbrook.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I love it because he brings a load of energy. He does fumble some stuff and he does make a few errors here and there, but I love his energy and he just attacks. But he's not Gary Payton. Gary Payton was a Sonic. He had a Sonic jersey. He's got the stats. It makes no sense that Russell Westbrook on paper has a Seattle achievement. Like it just doesn't make sense. Durant is the last player who can really say, I was there, there. And Seattle had some great players go through. And they won a championship.
Do you think so? But if Seattle, I don't think they're going to call themselves the Supersonics, but they should do.
No, they can because they own the rights to the Supersonics name.
Okay, so if they call themselves the Supersonics, can they say
Seattle owns the rights to the name Supersonics, but the actual legacy and all of the franchise, because the legacy is attached to the franchise, not the name, that was separated. That is in Oklahoma. So that's why Oklahoma players can have stats that still go on the same page as a Sonic player.
Stupid.
But you're going to say
I'm
that.
not a fan.
But look at the Lakers then. Look at all those other teams. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to draw a line and say pre-1976, I think it was, or 74, when the ABA and the NBA, or it all merged to become what we know as the NBA. You had teams like, I think it was Brooklyn and Indiana, for example. They all joined. And then you had like the CBA, all that sort of stuff. All of those things beforehand.
The banners stay in the city. The banners stay in the city. That's what I say. You don't move and say, right, we're taking our banners. Have they got like Seattle Supersonic banners up in Oakland Thunder?
I don't know that actually.
Because that would just look weird.
I don't know that. I think the banners are still in, well, they were in Key Arena. But
in theory, you could just buy banners then. If you had all the money, you could buy clubs and go, yeah, we've got all these banners now.
It's ironic because Seattle is one of the wealthiest cities in the Americas.
But if
you
Seattle,
home of like Microsoft, places like Facebook, all that sort of stuff, they're all up there.
But if Seattle Supersonics, bam, they're off. Do you give them that 1979 championship?
Yes.
Do you have that banner up on the arena?
Why are they not allowed to have that?
Because that is the Thunders. That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. If Seattle have a team and the super, and if they call them something like the Seattle Suns or whatever, if there's the Supersonics, I 100% agree with you. Put that banner up, 1979.
I am Googling this right now.
What are you Googling?
When the Seattle Sonics return, would the 1979 championship be considered theirs? And they're like,
no, not Mark. I'd look this up today. It is the banner stays in the city. That is my view. That is my point.
So here's the thing.
End.
They have an option. It says here there is an option that Oklahoma could give that ball back.
That would be amazing.
Or, as I really suspect, they could, in brackets, give it back for a large, massive donation of money.
Well,
because you're not buying that. They could say if the Seattle, I mean, we're throwing it out there, but if Seattle have got the franchise, they've got an arena, they've got a WNBA team, they've got a basketball following, all the owners want Seattle to have another team, and they want 2 more West Coast teams, and part of the reason is so that they can properly buy us. Because at the moment you've got, I think it's like people like New Orleans and stuff who are sat in the middle, and they're like playing in the West. They should actually play in the East. So it would rearrange a couple of those teams. So that's why they're saying if they get 2 more teams in Vegas and Seattle, there's your 2 on that side, then they can move a couple to the East. Well, and then you've got your 16.
I love that idea that the Thunder can, I don't know what the word would be, would give up.
Yeah, it would be, I guess, rescinding, wouldn't it?
Give up their title and say, here you go, it's yours. It belongs to Seattle.
Well, all I'm saying is that one of the comments right here I'm looking at, whoever put this, genius. Meanwhile, Lakers fans enjoy their Minneapolis championships because they were the Minneapolis Lakers and then they moved. And when you look through Lakers history, lots of the banners, all those like 60s, 70s banners.
Yeah, but if...
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to draw a line, where you're drawing a line.
If that city gets another club, get your banners back.
They have another club. It's called the Minnesota Timberwolves. So do the Minnesota Timberwolves get the Lakers banner? Nope.
But they're called Minnesota, not Minneapolis. Done. It's got to be the same name. Done.
Oh, God.
It's got to be the same name.
Wow, you should be a lawyer. That is semantics.
Same name.
No, I mean, the latex is the latex. The Lakers is the main one because they won a load of championships, and then obviously moved to LA.
But I think if the team comes back,
I know a few people in Minnesota. Every time I say about the Lakers, they really get quite angry about it.
But if the team comes back and it's the same name, here's your banners.
Brett Favre. I'm just going to say that for them listening as well.
Wow. So the ultimate question then. I know you're a Dallas fan. You've been a Dallas fan now for...
No, I'll go triple team.
What?
Yeah.
So if
I have to support the Sonics. They were my first team that I loved in the NBA, and I will go back to them. The second one, Dallas. They've taken me under my wing. Part of the Mavs family. Done. I'm in it. The third one, it's going to be Orlando.
Nice.
Because they're the team I've seen the most.
That's common sense, Mark.
And I've been there.
That's common sense.
And I like the atmosphere.
And people should,
And they have the same colourway as the Mavs. So it's all like dark blue, black, silver. Like,
who would you support if it was Western Conference Finals and it was Dallas versus Seattle?
Oh, jeez.
And someone held a gun to your head and said, you got to wear one jersey or not. What are you doing? Wow.
I don't know.
For everyone listening to this still, if you've stuck this long, I've never seen Mark's face like this. All the cogs are going round. You can see it. He is in... I have got him with a question. He doesn't know what to do.
I don't know. I think... I will say this: it depends on what the Seattle organisation is when they bring it back. I think that's the fair way to put it. Because I will support them and I want them to have a team, but they've been gone since 2008. That's a long breakup. That has been a painful breakup for me. So it's like that's 15 years on.
Wow. Yeah. This could be a podcast in itself, Mark.
No, it couldn't.
Could.
I don't
want to forever.
No, I don't like it. It's just upsetting.
Well, look, that is my last point.
That's your last point. Well, I've got one for you, and it's just the final one, and it was tied in with that anyway. But it's really that the NBA has kicked off.
Yeah, it has. What we
this week?
Day 1, day 2.
We're officially day 2 at the moment. It was the 24th of October that it all kicked off. I'm not gonna say any scores because I don't want to do any spoilers.
I don't think anyone would care.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me get a few up.
Actually, what's our email address, Mark, again?
UK Basketball Podcast.
UK Basketball Podcast. So
gmail.com.
If you've reached this long into the podcast, please email UK Basketball Podcast
Yeah,
at
do it.
gmail.com
Do it.
and tell Mark what team he should support. The Seattle Supersonics.
Mavs
coming
versus
back,
Sonics. Max
maybe
versus
in the
Sonics.
next couple of years, or the Dallas Mavs.
What do you think if I said to Mark Cuban?
Yeah. If I tell you
Do
what,
you know what? What would? Because I'd say, Mark,
you can have my house if you talk to Mark Cuban. Have my house.
Mark, if for some reason you ever listen to this, please just call in so I can get his house.
There's
quite a nice house, I'd
no
like it.
way Mark Cuban's listened to this.
But if I
Always
genuinely,
going to have a casual chat with you.
if he said to me, he'd be like, I bet he would say this: go with what your gut is. But Mavs family, he's all about Mavs family for life. Whenever you see him, like when there's been players that have had distress and other things going on in their life, he's that sort of GM who's been like,
Yeah, that was nice to see. Who was the player? It was a guard. I remember that. It was a
yeah,
guard. It was like homeless or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
I can't think of his
going
name.
back on his feet.
And you know, he's all about. It's just a bigger picture. It's a whole.
Yeah.
You're in part of this franchise. If you think there's only ever 500 NBA players at any one time, and there was a stat recently. I heard someone say something like, "There's only been 5,000 NBA players, like historically." And I think maths maybe is about, but it can't be that far off because actual NBA players probably started from like the 60s, 70s. There's loads of people who played for like 20 odd years for that period of time. There's a few that drop in and out, so I think they may be missing that. But the bulk of it, there's only 500 players at any one time. It's not a lot.
I just had an amazing idea. And I think you would like it.
Oh, no.
We should have a Mark Cuban episode.
I'd love that.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
I would love that.
He is such a character.
So 6 degrees of, is it 6 degrees of separation? I believe the term is.
From what?
That any person in the world, you are separated by them by six degrees.
People.
Yeah, by 6 people. So you would know someone. We know someone, for example, who does stuff with a very famous singer, and in that sort of stuff. If you wanted to speak to that famous singer,
that singer would know.
bang, bang,
Mark
they
Cuban,
could know someone. They might know someone who may know someone who does that.
Actually, so no,
Because
we know a music lawyer, I guess he is.
Yeah.
So really, with Mark Cuban, we're probably 3 or 4 away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But
Mark, I look forward to talking to you on the show.
I would love that. But yeah, just to say, the first kickoff game, Lakers versus Nuggets was the first kickoff game, and the second one was the Suns versus the Warriors. I'm going to show Paul the scores. I'm not going to read them out.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Nuggets getting their rings. I did see that.
Yeah.
And
what do you think of the rings, by the way?
how much are they worth? God, they're huge, aren't they?
What do you think of the Nuggets' little cavity?
The little thing that sticks out. If you've not seen the ring, I'm trying to explain this, but you've got a ring with your big bulk.
They all look like novelty toys, basically.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But then if you take your finger out of the ring, you can pull the gold ring bit to one side. But do you know what that is? That little bit.
Oh, I haven't looked, no.
It's a banner. It's a little mini banner.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So it's a little mini banner.
The most ridiculous thing in the planet, but that is.
A little small banner. So that slides out and then slides back in to have the big bulky bit on top of the ring. That's what it is.
They should just give them all bumper stickers. I won like #1 champion. That's it. They were like, that's what you won. Bumper sticker. Thanks.
I did see the Joker run out.
Yeah.
And someone said this is the fastest ever turnover in history. He ran out of the changing room well up for it, and he had this ball and just bounced on some dead spot and just went off. That was quite funny.
But I mean, I wouldn't say the scores were that surprising. I think it's a nice start to the season.
Yeah, I mean you don't want me to say the scores?
I think totally up to you.
Well, I mean
if you
Suns,
don't want to know the scores,
I'm not going to say the scores. I won't say the scores. The Suns Warriors game was interesting because of where the Suns are now. The Warriors are going potentially their last dance for a championship now.
Yeah, 100%.
So they are all in. All I'll say about the game is great finish. Just watch the end. Great finish.
Oh, yes.
Great finish. So yeah, I mean, it looks like an exciting season. Huge test for the Lakers early on. LeBron's going to be on limited minutes now. I think he's down to 28 minutes limited per game is what they've said.
I mean, I'm going to say he did get 21 points in that game.
Yeah, he did. I can't see him getting past, the Nuggets, the Bucks, the Suns, the Warriors.
I mean,
I can't see them beating any of those teams.
The Bucks is arguably what. So
Orlando Magic.
You know,
can't see him beating it. The Celtics. Who else can I go to? And just have a quick.
Tonight, one of the games tonight is the Mavs against.
Oh, the Spurs. They're not going to get past the Spurs.
Not going to get past Wemby. Or Wembyana, that giant, 7'4". His arms are like.
Yeah, did you see the rejection he did? Well, no, not a rejection, a check on Klay Thompson. Yeah. Klay Thompson went for a free. I was like, he's so in so much space. Went for the shot, check. It was like, where the hell? Yeah. I had to rewind it and was like, has someone faked that guy coming in to block him?
The funny
and I was like, no, that's real. So what?
Have you seen? If you haven't seen, everyone go and check out the teams. I can't remember which team it was. I want to say it was the Mavs actually. And they were doing the practice for marking Wemby. And the guy's standing there, and they normally have these little pads or whatever that they're doing just to get into people's faces. And they've got these giant sticks, and they're just throwing them up like, this guy can reach.
It looks weird. I'm not a fan. It looks weird. Maybe you've got your wish. The big man is the new thing in the NBA.
But that's a different big man again.
It's going to be now. If you're not at least 6'8", you're not in the NBA.
No, but you say that, but all those players like Muggsy Bogues and people like that, they used to cause so much hassle for people because they was on the other end. They were smaller than you and me, so
they go in between their legs.
The absolute chaos because they're like you've then got like a 7-foot dude going, how do I reach down here? So, but that game's going to be interesting tonight.
It will,
in the morning.
But I cannot see the Lakers getting past. I don't know, like what I just said. 6 or 7 teams.
Well,
they're not getting past any of those.
There is one other stat I'm going to bring up that I saw, which was LeBron in a press statement, I think it was, or something a few weeks back, said that Davis is the face of the Lakers going forward. Anthony Davis. He got 0 points in the second half.
Who, Anthony Davis? He's been handed the crown. He's got to step up.
Yeah.
If you're driving that bus,
it's interesting. He was
in the Lake Show. You need to step up.
When he was in the Pelicans, he was fantastic. A few injuries here and there, but fantastic player. And at the Lakers, he's been really inconsistent and had a few injuries and stuff. When he's playing, he's one of the best players in the league. But and these are all teams we're talking about. We're not even talking about Dame Lillard with Giannis. Like, to me, that's probably one of the teams to be. And the Miami. Let's not forget Miami Heat.
Yeah, talking of Miami,
yes.
Are these fake pictures I'm seeing?
What, of Jimmy Buckets?
Of his hair?
Oh, he's amazing, isn't he?
Is that real? Because I was like, that's fake. That's a load of rubbish.
No,
is that real?
You know the story of what he does. So they have to take the team photos, don't they? And when they take the photos every year, they're the photos that like ESPN and TNT use every time the picture comes up in the corner. So they're like, Jimmy Butler on 20 points, and then they'll pull up a picture. So every time it's that season round to do the pictures, he goes like the most ridiculous haircuts.
What a legend.
Or absolute legend. So he's like, this year I'm going emo.
Jeez. Oh, so that's not his hairstyle?
No.
Oh, what an absolute legend.
No. What do you think of it though? I mean, he's just trolling the media.
Well, if he's doing it for that, yeah, that's funny. But I was like, hang on, he's actually going to wear his hair like that?
No, not for the games. Like, that was the other one he did. That one.
Do they actually use this? Do they?
Yeah, because that's like this is the media one you got to use, and then of course he turns up at the game and he's just looking like normal, and everyone's like, dude, seriously? And like the picture he did, that one, where he's like long braided hair. I was like, you're taking the mick. He's like, yeah. And they're like, press day. Yeah. Have you not got another? No, that's the picture you're using.
There's
So that's why he's like, I'm going to take these press days and just take it to another level. And you've got, like, that was the other one.
He's a bloody legend for doing that. I didn't realise it was a media day joke thing, but yeah, that's great.
He does it, but now every time you'll see a picture, and then they have to blend in pictures, and they go, "Here's the top 5 of people." That's the picture that you're seeing. So every
I
time,
look forward to seeing
he's
that.
just going to ruin everyone's graphic forever.
I look forward to seeing that.
Absolute genius.
There was a guy who did something similar in the Premier League on Sky Sports called Jimmy Bullard.
Oh, right.
So in the Premier League, they would do those media days. And for some reason, look it up and you'll see it. Just type Jimmy Bullard media day and you'll see it. But they would face away from the camera and then turn around and walk up to the camera like they're walking.
Yeah.
So he would pull his shorts up like Simon Cowell, like really, really high up. And he would hunch his shoulders above his head and he'd walk up like a little munchkin.
I've got it, yeah. Like that. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, so he'd walk up. What a legend.
Well played.
But I don't know if he did it much, but I mean, he is a character in himself.
Well
There was like, even in the games he would do it. There was a pile up of players, and the refs were running over to go break it up, and he runs over alongside the ref and just jumps over the pack of players. The ref's trying to sort it out, and he's like, "Hang on, what has just happened?" But you get those characters.
Yeah, I want to see that. That's what makes me like a character, like a player, like a team. When you get on board, I mean, maybe you're going to see less player movement these days. I don't know. You've got people like Giannis signing again for another 3 years, so he's just signed now. So him and Dame are.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He literally.
There was talk about that.
Yeah, he talks about it, and then he's just signed a 3-year, 168 million, I think it was, something like that.
They're going for it. Yeah, there are a lot of teams in the NBA going for it.
Yeah,
they're all going for that title.
And people are making the comparison as well because, I think it was Oscar Robertson and Kareem. They were both Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
And they were famous.
It's going to be great entertainment.
So they're making the parallels of those sort of things. You go, yeah.
I like the romantic side of the Warriors, though. That, if they can get that, I guess the Warriors' last dance.
Yeah.
Chris Paul finally gets his ring. There's a bit of romanticism about that, I think. And this will be their 5th. This will be their 5th one.
This would be number 5.
They'll be on the same thing with Magic, Kobe. I like the idea of that.
I like the idea.
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't see it.
I think they'll. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Well,
last 4.
If you think people haven't seen
last 8, maybe.
Andre Iguodala, he's just retired.
Yeah.
So he retired with the 4 rings. So he's happy. And
it was interesting what he said about that. They said something.
Well, he was happy, but
he said
19 years in the league.
I need a knee replacement. I need a wrist replacement. I need an elbow replacement. Hip replacement. It was just like he's like, my body's done. Like,
and if you notice that, if you notice now, since he's not been in or playing as heavily, he's leaned out quite a lot because he was quite a big muscly dude. He's leaned out a lot more.
Yeah, you were saying that the other day.
Yeah. It's really, because I always wonder with someone like LeBron, when we're talking about this being, is it maybe his last season? You don't know. But he's such a massive, he's 6'9", and he's built. If you notice in the last 3 or 4 years, he's leaned down more and more and more.
Yeah.
Because his legs are just...
You know what? This is going to sound a bit weird, but when you talk about height, I gave someone an example. And I said, do you know how tall some of these NBA players are? And they were like, like what? Just a bit taller than you. I'm like, and there was a chair there, and I like stood on the chair, went, this is how tall they are. And they were just like, oh my God, like this is how tall Shaq is. And they're like, oh wow, okay. And his foot's what? Size what?
22,
like
isn't it?
Yeah, something crazy. But yeah, well, if you're interested in NBA action, the place to go will be the Orlando Magic.
How long have you wanted to do that?
I've never done it until today, but maybe this is for another podcast, but I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. But if you want to talk about announcers and what announcers have contributed to the sport, you got to look at the Orlando Magic announcer at the game. Absolute legend.
David Steele, wasn't it? That's the main guy, that guy there.
Let me see his face.
Him.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
David Steele.
Yes, David Steele.
Yeah.
I think now we said it, we should do a podcast on David Steele.
Yeah, amazing.
There's so many things he used to do. So like and I'll be honest, when the Portsmouth Force and asked me to do the announcing and that took off, David Steele was the one I went to and listened to all these things to copy. So as a and the one he's
Celtics
famous
had
for,
a famous announcer as well, didn't they? Was it Celtics?
are you talking about the guy? Are you talking about the commentators? Oh my God, it's welcome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah, that's a commentator. But yeah, like with David Steele, some of the stuff that he does, we've gone off topic. I know you like that. The stuff that David Steele does is he'll go, let's say an opposing player travels, he'll go, traveling. And that sounds great. And opposing players will come up and say to him, "Oh, you're still doing." I think it was the Steve Kerr. Someone travelled for the Warriors, and he went travelling, and Steve went, "Oh, you're still doing that." Oh, and I want to say, I think he was one of the first people. I could be wrong here. I want to say he could have been one of the first people to introduce players. Do you know where they'd go? And now number, I don't know, number 15, Mark Chester. Yeah. They would do all Mark Chester like that. He was the first person to go, number 15.
Oh, really?
Mark Chester.
Oh, right.
There you go, David Steele.
David, if you're listening.
He has done podcasts with people. I'm sure he gets paid. I'm sure he gets paid. If we can get a couple of grand, he might do it.
Pay you with love, attention, admiration. Paul might even share you a Rolo. We'll send a pack of Rolos if that would get through customs.
I am sure he would be expecting 4 digits, Mark, to do a podcast. But you never know. But he is an absolute legend announcer.
Yeah, that's very true.
And everything about the Portsmouth Force I based on him.
Well, little fun fact for you there.
Yeah.
We've got a Force game coming up quickly, haven't we?
We have the Force game coming up at the Portsmouth Force, taking on the Kent Crusaders on Saturday, the 27th of October. Tip-off is at 6:30. Doors will be open at 5 p.m. And it is a Halloween Horror Night.
Which doesn't mean dress up with a chainsaw or anything.
Yes, it means dress up, Halloween costumes.
Really? I genuinely was looking at a Chucky costume and thinking this would be funny, and then I realised families go to the basketball games.
No, witches, wizards,
like
skeletons, all of it is going to be there. I have
Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I have spoken to Blue personally, and he has told me he is going to be the scariest ghost you have ever seen in your life.
Wow, okay.
Blue is dressing up. Blue is the mascot.
The mascot is dressing up
as a ghost.
Wow, that's like a chicken inside a turkey, isn't it? Kind of thing.
It's a real person, Mark. Like he's a Force Fox.
This is very true.
So yeah, it's actually for the Force. It's going to be the first time that we're actually doing a themed night. So when we've gone to America and we've seen it and we've taken all that in and gone, oh wow, this is great. It's the first time we've actually National League in Portsmouth gone, let's give it a try. Yeah. So we're going to give it a try, a Halloween night. So as far as the music and stuff, all I'm going to do is be playing Halloween music, Ghostbuster music, stuff like that. That's all I'm going to be playing.
Fair enough.
I mean, we're still going to be doing, so it might be a lot of Addams Family during the game.
Yep.
A lot of that. And yeah, let's see what happens.
The Munsters.
All of that. That's what I haven't got the playlist yet, but that was the concept. And then we're going to have a best dressed cash prize going out to whoever's the scariest looking.
Okay.
Blue has told me he feels he should be considered in that competition as well. I've told him he should not.
Arguably, there's a few people, if they went and had a nap and then we woke them up, they would be the best scariest looking.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. And you know what? You're going to be, Blue's going to be giving out free sweets, free stuff. So, it's, like I said, every game we're adding something to it. And I think the last game this year is going to be on the 2nd of December. And I think...
Home game, you mean?
Home game. And on that one is when we're thinking of doing a Christmas theme as well.
Okay. The first week of December, you're doing Christmas theme.
Yeah, maybe not as intimidating as a Halloween theme.
Well, you could do like a bloody Christmas kind of scenario.
Maybe.
Christmas tree.
Maybe,
with,
I don't know.
Yeah, without a chainsaw. It's got to be a chainsaw.
But yeah, let's Halloween Horror Night at Ravelin Sports Centre on this Saturday, 27th October.
Wow,
this was quite a long one for a BBL thing, wasn't it?
That's what she said.
It was BBL, NBA.
Well, what I might do...
TV.
Yes, it's
Portsmouth Force.
Everything, life. What I'm going to finish on, just before we finish, is the upcoming games for the BBL. Because I thought I'd just give everyone a quick shout out.
You always do that.
Patriots and Sharks are playing right now.
Oh, are they? What's the score? Live score?
They're just about... I think they're either just about to start or it's just going to be kicking off, so...
9 o'clock?
Yep.
It's got to be over.
Nah, well, it might be.
Refresh that.
Yeah.
Refresh that laptop, Mark. That's got to be over.
Patriots versus the Sharks.
They would have started, I reckon. Where is it being played? Patriots. That's a 7:30 tip off.
7:30 tip, yeah. So it maybe hasn't finished yet.
Hey, let's get the box, Mark. Let's get that box score. If people are still listening to this, they want to hear that score 24 hours after it finished.
Yeah, I'm genuinely trying to find it. Live scores. Here we go. It was an 8 o'clock tip. Sheffield Sharks, Plymouth Patriots. Nope. I'm guessing the game's still on.
YouTube? Because that is live on YouTube. Most games.
Yep, it is live. Here we go. Let's see if we can play it. Here we go.
You know what? We should have commentated and talked about the podcast about that game.
Oh, I mean, it's a late start to the game. Let's put it that way. Look, we're only 9 minutes into the first half.
No, that's just jumped. I think this is highlights. I think the game's finished. That's just jumped by 6 minutes.
Oh, it is.
Unless that's the third quarter.
It is game highlights. Game highlights.
So the game's finished.
Yeah. So the game score was... Dun, dun, dun. This is super professional. I will edit this out. There we go.
They don't look happy. Yeah, I was just going to say Plymouth look annoyed. That guy there, I can't read his number, but he looked peed off.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, without giving it away, Bristol won.
And where was that? In the Shark Tank?
Yes.
Or at Plymouth?
That's, hang on. No, hang on, that's not the game at all. Why has that showed me that?
What?
Wrong game.
Oh. Mark, your professionalism has just nosedived
KMA.
into a
Kiss my
steaming pile of turd. Right, is this live?
There, live.
Right, we've got 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's a low-scoring game. Sheffield
that's
up
a really low-scoring game.
Up by 11.
I typed in the thing. It picked up the last time they played.
This is Plymouth 48, Sheffield Sharks 59. This is in Plymouth as well. In the Patriots.
Do you know what I like about their kit?
Where's Pat Wright's? Where's that legend?
I was about to say, where's Pat?
That's Pat should be right under that basket where you can see him on the camera.
Where the cheerleaders are, in fairness.
Wow, that's really good. They got cheerleaders.
Yeah, have you not seen the cheerleaders?
No, I've not.
There's a few teams that have got cheerleaders.
You know, let's just give a big shout out to the Plymouth Patriots cheerleaders.
I believe they actually follow us.
Do they?
On Instagram. Talking Basketball Podcast on Instagram.
Oh.
Go check it out.
I did get a couple of... I've been getting a couple of new followers as well.
Do you know the most people
on Insta? And I'm like, I have no idea who this is, but yeah, sure.
Do you know the most people who send messages to our...
Oh, don't... Let me guess.
It's
CCTV security or buy a kit?
No, that's just you. Oh, buy a kit, yeah. It's all buy a kit. All it is, buy a kit. We make kits. Buy a kit.
Oh, Faulkner. Faulkner, he's just having a good game here.
I mean, the score, when you look at it that way, it's a lower scoring game in comparison.
This is a really low scoring game. I mean, look, Sharks have limited
4 minutes left, and we've got
Plymouth
like
to 48 points.
48-61.
You know, with Faulkner on the line, I can guarantee this is going to be 2. There's 1. Boom.
I like the green. I'm saying it.
Yeah. Look, there's a shot of the home fans are not happy.
It's more like a Milwaukee green for those who haven't seen the court down in Plymouth.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say Bucks green. Yeah.
It's not.
Damn
it's
it,
not
he missed that second.
Yeah, especially for a 3-point play, you'd want to. I do like their kit. I do like their kit.
Wow, we're just watching the game now. We should have done a live podcast talking about this game. We've
Missed the boat.
let one slip there, Mark. I know we've talked about it before.
Well, we'll do that next time. We will plan it. Send us a message if you think we should do that.
I'm going to send you a message.
Oh, you're going to send the message. Okay, good.
What a spin move! I mean, there's the big man, number 25. Is that who we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, I don't like the grey kit. I still don't like the grey kit. I know what they're trying to do, but in person, I bet that looks really nice.
I really like this grey kit.
I don't think it translates over TV. Yeah, I just don't think it translates over the TV.
I like it on a colourful court like the Patriots court. When you're on a court and it's black and white, it looks very mono.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
But here, I really like it.
Although, when you say that, but London's court's black and white, and that looks spectacular. The copper box court's lovely.
We're literally just watching this game now.
Great. This is fantastic.
We're just watching this game.
Yeah.
Boom! They're on fire. Sheffield are on fire. This game's over, Mark. 2.5 minutes left. 15-point lead to the Sheffield Sharks. This is game over.
Putting the lights down.
They're doing like a 2-minute show.
Yeah, look. Right in the middle.
Is there no sound?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Put a little bit of sound on foot.
Hey, Pat Riots!
There he goes.
Pat Riots!
He stonks the ball.
His trademark third quarter
trademark.
Dunk. He looks like an absolute legend. His tongue's hanging. Pat Riots.
I mean, the coach there must be getting super annoyed because he's trying to do his X's and O's on his pad, and the lights are all out and there's flashing strobes.
I love it. I love it. Is the Patriots court just on one side as far as the crowd, or is it two sides? I can't see what behind the players.
It's the pavilion, so it goes up, doesn't it? I thought it went
just
all
one
around.
side?
No, because there's seats here.
Okay.
But I think there's less seating here.
But this is great. Look, there is a timeout. All the lights going down. There's entertainment for the fans. That is brilliant to see.
And as soon as the lights come back on, it's like that's the automatic get off the court. Here we go. It just shows you how lighting, sound.
Oh, it's Koch. It's Koch. That wasn't a K.
That wasn't a K. Oh, for God.
It was a H.
Oh, wow.
I did
you just made me call that guy Cock instead of Coke.
Koch. Yeah.
Koch, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Well,
that was a H.
He could have been German. They have that quite a lot. But I think, this game itself, I'm not saying it could be better. You might be hearing this in the background, just a little bit of background noise. It sounds a bit like a swimming pool. I know we've got this up loud and we're hearing this muffled, but it sounds a bit like a swimming pool in there because of it's the pavilion and the way it is. But I do like the way that their stands go up, the shape of that stands.
Here we go, the big man. Oh, he just got rejected. But yeah, Bennett Koch.
Oh, is that in? I don't know if that was kept in or not.
Bennett Koch, the big man, number 25.
Nice.
That was spell checker changing his name.
Okay.
We need this on a big screen.
Well, we can arrange that. We'll put a screen up there so then you can just sit there and watch it.
Oh, the big man.
Oh.
Bennett Koch is just dominating inside. This is all about him now.
It is all about him.
That's the last 3 plays in the last minute have just been about him. Just dominating the inside.
Why have they got different logos around?
Well, that's a sponsor saying, I want to pay 10 grand for be on the court. And they go, yeah, you can go here, you can go there. personally, I'd like.
Well, I don't
It
like the fact they're
fresh.
different. I don't like the fact they're different. Look, there's one there, and then when you go into this side, it's a different
Oh
one.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not a huge fan, but
No.
yeah. I mean, I am a huge fan of the pavilion.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Pavilion and their
Bennett Koch
logos
again,
and their colours are
down
really
low.
growing on me.
Down low, and what?
I just
No.
don't like this logoing
He's going to the line.
on here. I think it cheapens it a little bit.
Plymouth can't contain the big man.
No, it seems. Look there. That colour looks great up close, and I think it really translates. But when you're having a background and they're zoomed out,
Can you see why I wanted to highlight him?
yeah,
In my 1 point, that
He's
pass
all over it, isn't he?
did to who's the guy? Oh, I'm gonna have to go back to my notes. He did
he bricked it.
Jalon Pipkins.
Yes,
But yeah,
he
well,
bricked that one. That's a nice bit of live overview for everyone.
well, we should actually do that properly. I think.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think we missed the shot on this one, Mark. Because we can still talk about NBA and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but we can just
threw that one up.
You know what I was going to potentially talk about today was the kits of the referees in the BBL.
The orange.
This one's orange. I've
Yep.
seen like a really dark, I want to say maroon or dark purpley pink. I've seen that one as well. I know the MBL has got a new very bright yellow. But personally, I don't think you can get away from the grey. See grey, that's a referee. I wonder if the team kits.
Well, because their kit's
determine what
grey.
the
Yeah, because
referees are.
their kit's grey, so they can't. You can't have a grey ref.
But the refs must have. I guess if you're you're a BBL ref, you must have a home and away kit. You got to have a home and away kit.
Home and away. I mean, they look like they've been tangoed. I'm not a fan of the orange. I like the fact it's different, but I'm not a fan of it. I
you
think
know what
a
about
ref should be
what about
a
the
ref.
you know, like black and white stripes? That's. I mean, I know that's more America, but
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like setting it apart, isn't it? You can see the refs a lot clearer, although with the lighting the way it is, you can't see the ref on this 4 line on this side as much because of the way the lighting is.
that's the game, Mark. Sheffield take the win by 12 points.
Wow, I think we didn't see all the game, but just seeing that end sort of performance, big guy dominated.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bennett Koch,
Yeah,
not what you stated earlier.
no,
That was spell checker.
some really good on the court video actually, just to give people an idea of where the sort of places they're playing. And that's fact.
Yeah, that court does look nice.
And incidentally,
Standard handshakes going on now.
I sent you a picture the other day of the Plymouth Raiders, who are the NBL team, and their court looks like a flooring over the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think bring that for another show.
Definitely.
Bring that for another show because it's like that mat, isn't it? There we go. There's your box scores coming in, Mark.
55-67.
14 turnovers by the Patriots. Got to be looking at that stat. Also,
Wow. I mean, there's 10 in fairness from Sheffield.
but 8 steals.
8 steals.
Sheffield got 8 steals there.
36, 34 rebounds. Pretty even. I mean, your 3 points. Ironically, you've got 2 for 16 for Sheffield and 5 for 25 for Plymouth.
Geez, that's 12%.
5 for 25.
2 for 16, that's 12%.
Yeah, but 5 for 25.
That's 20%.
They've hocked up 25 shots
Yeah.
on the 3. You go, okay, I can see where they're living or dying. Whereas you look at Sheffield, 24 for 40, 60% inside.
Well, we only watched the last, 6 minutes of the game. And by that, big man Bennett Koch, I probably
Yep.
said his name 6 times in the last 2 minutes. So, you know.
Well,
the
that
big
was
man-
interesting.
Yeah.
That was a different dynamic, wasn't it?
Wow.
Anyway,
Well,
the
there
rest-
you go.
The other games that are coming up for the rest of the week. Tomorrow.
Oh, you're going through the games. That's
Yeah,
why we went
that's
to
what we're
that.
doing it.
Oh, God.
Tomorrow,
How long ago was that? It was like 20 minutes ago, wasn't it?
Leicester Riders versus Surrey Scorchers on tomorrow.
Nice.
Then you've got Bristol Flyers, and I want to say it's Phoenix.
Okay.
Then after that, the next day, you've got the Newcastle Eagles versus the Lions that you already mentioned.
Huge game.
You're looking for a big win there.
That is going to decide my interpretation of the league.
Wow.
If Lions win that, I'm like, season's over. Give them the trophy.
Then on the 29th, Patriots versus Scorchers, and at the same time, Gladiators versus Leicester Riders.
Wow. Patriots Scorchers be a good game. Where's that?
At Plymouth, I believe.
I think, Mark, I know we've said this every week so far, but I think we need a little tour is in order at some point.
Yes, get on the road. Most definitely.
We'll have to see if we fall into, well, maybe, look, we're staring 10K in the face, Mark. We got to be falling in some kind of media category. Look.
Some kind of media.
I got a free KFC the other day. Well, it wasn't free, but I got lots of free stuff with it. You know, that says something. If you're walking in somewhere and getting lots of free KFC because of a podcast, that tells me you should be considered media.
Yeah. I mean, the fact I don't socialise or eat junk food possibly may limit my reach in that respect. But I would like to think that they might give me a KFC to give to you.
Yeah.
Or
well,
Rolos.
I think you're aiming too high at the moment. You're aiming for Mark Cuban. I'm aiming for a KFC. That's the difference.
What's the middle? What's the middle? Between Mark Cuban and a KFC, where's the middle? Where can I realistically put my flag? You want a target, a big target? We've gone past KFC now. We need a 10K target.
I'll give you a 10K target would be a BBL player, current player.
Yes, let's do it. That'd be great. Anyone who's listening in the BBL, we will talk to you.
I don't think they're listening this long. This is the longest we've done for a BBL. Who knows? There's what is it, 8,000 something? 8,000. I don't know where the piece of paper's gone now. But anyway.
Like 8.5. A lot of people.
Am I doing that one?
Should we do a different one?
No, let's do that one.
All right.
Do the same one every time. When I say that one, we're talking about outro music.
Outro music. So, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a roller coaster this week, hasn't it?
Yes.
Well done. So if you haven't listened to all of the previous episodes, go back and take a listen. We've got like 25, 26 of them now, so there's plenty for you to get listening to while you're waiting for the next episodes. If you haven't hit us up on the social media, go check out Instagram. Send also emails to ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com. I've been Mark. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate every listen. Like, subscribe, follow, share, tell everyone. We love you all. Speak to you soon.
And I have been Paul. And if you play badminton, throw your racket away and get a basketball. Goodbye.